Hi, David Temple, Trees of Trail Canyon. Our little subject today is wood chip mulch and why it's so beneficial for trees. And people ask me a lot of times, what is the best kind of mulch? Should there be some things I avoid? Are there acids or problems with mulches? And all the research I can ever come up with and have read shows that the arborist mulch, just what comes out of a chipper, is the best you can use. And this is just a pile of some cottonwood that we had to remove. We had some trees in leaf in the summer. We have some bark from another juniper removal. And so it's just a mix of all sorts of stuff. Different sizes are good. It's probably the least expensive mulch. You can buy more expensive commercial mulches that are uniform in color and can be nice visually looking in a landscape, but as far as healthy for the soil and beneficial, this is the great stuff, and it's the least expensive. So I don't care about the sticks so much. They can certainly be pulled out, but you mix it all together, and this is probably 3 truckloads that we will continue to mix and use, and we'll need another 10 to 12 just for our operations here on the ranch. Or at the nursery. So sometimes you get a very uniform cottonwood removal that you can get very fine quality chip. Other times it's pine needles. But none of these things, whether it's pine needles, they don't produce acid or do anything bad to the soil. More information about wood chip mulches and why they're such a great thing for trees. I've heard people tell me, and it's true, that trees and grasses don't mix very well, and that's true. You generally don't see trees in grass environments, nor do you see grass in tree environments. Grasses are quite competitive and roots grow faster under these perennial grasses than they do under a woody plant, for a woody plant. So you really slow down the root growth of a tree by having grass up near it. The statistic I read was that you will get 50% greater rooting under a wood chip mulch than you will under a turf. That's just from the lack of competition from another plant. But I use, of course, just wood chip mulch that comes out at the end of a chipper. We'll call it arborist mulch. It's got bigger sticks, little sticks. It's got tiny little organisms, little pieces that decompose quickly, larger pieces that take years to decompose. Put them right on the surface. And these soils become so fertile on the surface, you're mimicking the forest, of course, with the high organic matter on the surface. And I get roots growing from these trees right to the edge of the soil line. So lots of nurseries will grow under clean cultivation and they won't allow competition of weeds, but they use, because you don't generally put wood chip mulch down on hundreds of acres that most nurseries are. I've got a 10-acre nursery, so I can put the 200 to 300 truckloads of mulch down that I have and produce 10 to 15 truckloads every year. But I grow roots right at the surface. And we have things growing, it's just amazing. These soils were so impoverished when I got here 12 years ago. It was an abandoned field full of prairie dogs and bindweed. Just the act of the wood chip mulch alone has improved these soils so that the soils are rich, they're well drained, they're fertile. I do get a little bindweed, but the bindweed doesn't like the wood chip mulch in the shade in the tree cover. So kind of a self-fulfilling deal with the wood chips.